I'm Ashton Addison from Blockwest Capital for Investment Pitch Media, and today on the Crypto Coin Show, we have Adam Adler, co-founder and creative of Myntr. Adam, welcome to the show, and thanks for taking the time.
No problem. Thanks for having me, Ashton.
You're welcome. Let's dive into all things NFTs, not just digital apes, but real-world use cases on how businesses can incorporate this technology to gain more business, grow, get a competitive advantage. I'm excited to hear what Myntr is working on, so let's dive right into it. Let's start with just an overall solution on what are the exact solutions you have made for NFTs for businesses and how you're trying to make a splash in the NFT world, and then we'll dive into all things NFTs.
For sure. So what we found when we're talking to a lot of these brands is that they don't really know what NFTs are, right? To them, it's just like this mystified thing that they see in the news. They know it's something, they know it's important, but they don't really know how to utilize it properly, right? So what we push at Myntr is that it's a lot more than just a collectible asset. So we really try to work with these brands to create programs for them where it ties in utility and it actually provides value to their end consumers, right? So we take like membership and loyalty programs and really attach NFTs to them so that we can turn their consumers into their community, where actually, you know, they're rooting for the brand, they're part of their ecosystem, and they're really just right in there with them.
Very cool. And I feel like because NFTs are newer, it's great to just start by introducing something to do with NFTs, and you not always, you know, as businesses run, you don't always get it right on the first try. But because not everybody has NFTs involved, there is a little bit of room for trial and error. You know, nowadays, most companies have some kind of loyalty or membership points, but you really have to, because everyone has that, you really have to make something special for people to actually want to go to the business to see an extra accrued value from, you know, those loyalty points, because everyone's sort of doing it. How have you seen with NFTs so far? Are you guys approaching small businesses and saying, hey, look, here's the competitive advantages? Or are you seeing an influx of like businesses that actually are looking to find ways to increase value and actually approaching you?
Yeah, I think it's a mix of both. I think a lot of these companies want to get into the Web3 space, right? So they kind of know what they want, but they don't really know how to do it. So we kind of meet them in the middle and provide solutions where it's like not too foreign to them. It's taking what they already have and then just applying that Web3 and the NFTs and all those digital assets to kind of what they already have to like expand what they already have and grow on their current ecosystem.
So what they say about, you know, when the internet was starting up is that every business is going to need a website eventually, and that especially came in handy, you know, when it became digital only and people weren't allowed to really go outside. Do you think the case will be the same for NFTs, where every business will need them or will utilize them?
Yeah, so there's so many similarities between Web3 and I guess Web1, right? When it all started, right? You see they're like the new wallets coming online is very similar to like the new internet users back in the late 90s and early 2000s. And I really think NFTs will kind of just encompass like all of our life, right? From tickets to medical records to banking to really everything can kind of have that NFT. And I think in like that 5 to 10 year span, it's going to become a lot more commonplace, and we won't even think of it as an NFT per se, but just another part of our digital life and our digital wallet.
Interesting perspective. And, you know, I think we're already seeing that come true with some of the largest companies in the world are already introducing NFTs more in the collectible sense, creating collections. But we've seen the works of Marvel and Disney already making collections. With the teams that you're working with at Myntr, are you working with these large enterprise solutions or small business, medium, or a mix of all?
Yeah, so right now we're kind of working with like these small, medium-sized businesses, a lot of e-commerce businesses, but also some other stuff. We're working with some athletes, some musicians, some startups, so some restaurants. So we're really trying to like not so like we're kind of going across multiple industries because they can, because it really can be applied to everything, and it's not just art. It's not just a collectible asset.
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And having a solution that sort of caters to different sizes of businesses and different industries as well, how do you find a niche or a competitive advantage, or do you need to find a niche?
Yeah, so with a lot of these businesses, we kind of, because they're so new to the space most of the time, we really try to approach it with a crawl, walk, run approach. So starting with something small like a membership or loyalty, and kind of applying NFTs to what they already have, and then pushing them forward as they go to more unique options, whether it's like profile pictures and generative collections or really anything, right?
Mm-hmm. Interesting. And with NFTs, if you are a person that's been involved in the space, you know that there's so many different options for the technology that sort of runs the NFTs. You could be on different blockchains, and there's different ERC protocols, for example, on Ethereum, that NFTs could be different if they have different functionalities built into them. How much do you think that matters for the clients, at least that you work with? And do they need to know about the underlying technology and what suits best for their business, or is it sort of like a one-size-fits-all?
Yeah, so I think it definitely depends on the business and how encompassed they already are in Web3, right? So for some companies where they really have, their consumers don't really know and they're not crypto native and know what's really going on, we've done solutions with Polygon where they're kind of just selling the NFTs right from their e-commerce site, and they're purchasable by credit card. So it's really native to their normal consumers right now. And then from there, we go behind the scenes, have them fill out a Google form with their wallet address and transfer the NFTs to their wallet. And we also just really try to break it down and make it as simple as possible. So we have videos on like how to create a MetaMask wallet. And we're also working with this company called Horizon, who has their own wallet called Sequence. And you're able to set up a wallet in 5 to 10 seconds with them. You can just log in with SSO, single sign-on, with Google, Facebook, or Apple, or just your email, and you can have your wallet created in a matter of seconds and you receive that NFT.
Mm-hmm. Very cool. And what is your insight and perspective on the growing out of NFT marketplaces? We've seen a huge conglomeration of NFTs being sold on OpenSea for Ethereum and some other marketplaces for other blockchains, but there's also a lot of businesses that see a strategy in creating their own NFT marketplace, separate from their e-commerce store that's just for NFTs. Do you think that's a good strategy for small business, or selling them on OpenSea, or just incorporating it into the loyalty program to give away, or does it obviously it's got to make it depends on the situation?
Yeah, it's interesting, right? Because we've seen companies like GameStop where they create their own marketplace, and I think it's still a very new thing. So I'm not really sure the exact results of, and the pros and cons of making your own marketplace, but it's a lot of work to get all that up and functioning and running properly, right? So I think with like OpenSea already out there, it does make sense for a lot of these brands to just have them on OpenSea as their main marketplace and kind of have the collections built out on there, because that's really where a majority of the users are looking for NFTs right now and going. And I think it's also by far the most user-friendly right now. And you can really dive in deep to all the activity. So I think as these new marketplaces kind of start to evolve, it could make more sense to have, those GameStop NFTs on the GameStop marketplace. Mm-hmm. But I think for now, we're going to find that a lot of people will still just be going back to OpenSea, considering it's the gold standard.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, there was an interesting case study on the GameStop marketplace and the Coinbase marketplace that GameStop actually did 3 million in volume in the first week of the release. And, I feel like currently in the crypto space, NFTs are very catered to sort of like a gaming kind of audience. And the future competitive advantage of the GameStop marketplace is supposed to be, gaming related NFTs, but they haven't even released that yet. It was mainly just pieces of art and the normal NFTs that we're seeing on the marketplace right now. However, with Coinbase, the volume was very low and really didn't get a lot of traction at all, even though Coinbase has millions of users trading on the spot market and millions of accounts. Do you have any perspective on that, on why an NFT marketplace like Coinbase, where the majority of people that are already involved in cryptocurrency wouldn't do very successful, even though it already has an existing user base?
Yeah, Coinbase was really interesting because they kind of just seemed to kind of screw themselves right from the beginning and didn't really latch on to their consumers in like a genuine and loyal way. And I think that's why a lot of people didn't make the move over. They're already comfortable with the platforms that they were using. They didn't need another wallet, another marketplace, and it just kind of overcomplicated things, I think. Mm-hmm. Right?
Yeah, I agree, and that's why I'm cautious about every startup having their own NFT marketplace as well. I think unless you have a large NFT strategy where you're really focused on it, I feel like using the network effect of OpenSea or finding some way to incorporate the NFTs as added value into existing purchases is probably a better solution. You would probably know better than me since you're already working with these clients. But I feel like although there are white label NFT marketplaces that sort of make it easy to create somewhere to sell NFTs, it's hard without a lot of hype and speculation. I feel like NFTs are sort of based around that a lot of people are investing in them in hopes of being able to sell them for more. That might not be the case with small businesses that are creating NFTs for added value.
Yeah, right. So these big brands already have their audience, and it's really easy to pitch them, and they already have their super fans who will kind of buy anything they put out. But these smaller businesses, we've definitely come across some problems with like bringing it to market and really advertising it and bringing it to consumers. Mm-hmm. So I think what you're saying before is that a lot of these brands kind of just go out there and create this collectible asset, and it's just a picture, or it's something that has to relate with the brand, but they're not really getting value to these end consumers. So the biggest thing that these smaller businesses that may not have the audience and the community to really pitch to right now is to really attach utility and value to these NFTs, right? So for example, working with this leggings brand called Therese, and we're working with them to just add more utility to these NFTs. So whether it's future discounts or limited edition drops, or getting a physical version of your actual NFT, or more even having styling sessions with the founder and creator. So really giving this community just real tangible value that they can experience, they can hold on to, and they'll still have that value in the coming years. It's not just a one and done thing. Definitely.
And we've seen, with the one and dumps and the NFT collections that are, digital artwork that's a rare collection that's sort of selling based on hype, that the overall market for NFTs really rose in the end of 2021, and the volume is really down right now. Do you think it's a good time for small businesses to be starting an NFT strategy when the market's not as high as it was at the end of last year, or should it not matter about what's the overall NFT market looking like in the way that you implement your strategy?
Yeah, I think with the markets, it kind of changes how you go about the strategy, but it doesn't mean that it's a bad time or that you shouldn't launch, right? These bear markets are really meant, one, to learn about the space and to really dive deep into things that you don't know, and to build these projects so that when it turns back around, you already have your product out, you're ready to go, what's up, you're ready, right? Mm-hmm. So even though the market might be down right now, it's not necessarily the worst thing. It also means that these new consumers can get into the industries and buy these NFTs at a cheaper price when we're marking them in crypto. Sometimes we do sell in USD. But again, it just kind of depends on the project, but in no means does it mean that these brands should halt at all. It just really means that they should keep going and get ready as the market continues to expand.
Mm-hmm. Great insight, Adam. And I agree. And often it's the same sentiment with retail investors or people who are new to the market, where everyone wants to buy Bitcoin at 60,000. Then when it gets to 20, there's that fear that they don't want to buy. They don't want to start getting invested because they think it's going to zero until it goes back up, and they're like, oh, that was the perfect opportunity to get in.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I bought more Bitcoin, bought more Ethereum. Yeah, the time is now, right? It's it's it might go a little lower, but it's definitely going to go up in the long run.
And what are the next steps for Myntr throughout the rest of this year? Is it to grow and to increase your presence in the NFT industry, and for small businesses that don't even know about Web3?
Yeah, we're looking to grow, do another funding round, and really try to grow the company. We're pretty small right now with only 7 employees and a few interns. So we're get some more money, make sure get some more employees, and continue to grow, get more brands involved and wanting to get into the space. And then we're also working on some cool technology and really trying to push and make NFTs as accessible and really demystify them as much as we can. So one cool thing I can talk about is we're working on this verification app that we're called Verifier right now. Very makes sense. But it's just an easy way for brands to do on-site verification or verification online, so they can kind of token gate websites or discounts or even live events with your NFTs. So it'd be really simple and seamless for someone to walk into a restaurant per se, show their NFT, and then get served right to their reserve table or something like that.
Awesome. Very cool. I'm looking forward to following along to see that release. For small businesses or medium-sized businesses or any size that are interested in learning more about NFTs and how Myntr could potentially help them as well, what's the best way for them to learn more about your team's platform?
Well, definitely go to our website, myntr.io, and yeah, get in touch. We love hopping on calls and talking to new clients, and really just explain to them what we have to offer and the value behind NFTs and why they should get involved and why it's not just a fad and why this is really around to stay.
Great. Thank you, Adam. Thank you for the insights into the NFT industry and to hear about what Myntr's working on. Wishing you guys all the best as the industry continues to grow and implementing Web3 into more businesses. I really do like that. So thank you for everything, and let's follow up in the near future.
For sure. Thanks for having me, Ashton.